This is the Broad Street Review podcast. I'm your host, Darnell Radford, and I'm here with my trusty travel producer, Woodsy. We are in Edinburgh, Scotland, for the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. I can't wait to dig into this crazy thick Fringe guidebook featuring over 3,800 productions and events. So stay with us. Here and on Rep Radio podcast, for August, it's all Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Did you know that artists come from around the world and even our hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to entertain, engage, and inspire cultural enthusiasts from all over the globe? I'm going to catch up with performers and attendees that made it over the pond. Maybe we'll recognize a few voices along the way. So stay tuned. Broad Street Review podcast is here at Edinburgh Festival Fringe. On today's podcast, Jenna Kuerzi stops by to talk about the Edinburgh Festival Fringe debut of Johnny Depp, a retrospective on late-stage capitalism. This production was first featured in Philly Theater Week in Philadelphia, our hometown, and is making its Edinburgh Festival Fringe debut. Here is my interview with Jenna Kuerzi. I am your host, Darnell Radford, and today I am in Edinburgh, Scotland, and I get excited every time I get to say that. I'm on the campus of the University of Edinburgh, and we're here at what's called Fringe Central. It is like the nerve center for Edinburgh Festival Fringe, and today I'm sitting across the table from Jenna Kuerzi. Jenna!
Hi!
Welcome to Rep Radio. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
I get so excited that Philadelphians figure out how to scrape up the money and get over here and bring their wares to the global stage.
Yeah.
And it's not that presenting it in Philadelphia wasn't, a big to-do as well, but out here we're basically saying, hey globe, here's what I have to offer.
Yeah.
And it's a reflection of us. So when you do well, Philadelphia does well. Philadelphia's cultural scene does well. So it's always a great thing to be able to catch up with everybody that's here. So
Yeah, totally.
welcome. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
So the production, and it makes me laugh every time I say it, is Johnny Depp, a retrospective on late-stage capitalism.
Yeah, you got it. It's a mouthful.
Yeah, but it's a fun mouthful.
Exactly.
So tell us about this production for the listeners all around who may not be aware.
Sure. So our play, Johnny Depp, a retrospective on late-stage capitalism, follows Johnny Depp's journey from preteen heartthrob to a wino forever, as he calls himself. And we follow his entire career just to figure out what the fuck happened. Because Val Dunn and I, my co-creator Val Dunn, we loved Johnny Depp as a kid, and he's had a rough go of it for the past 10 years, both personally and professionally.
Yeah.
So his downfall kind of was the, impetus for this. And also, I love pop culture, and Val hates late-stage capitalism, so we married the two.
Let's figure out a through line.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, you can do it now. We can talk about anything and tie it back to the politics of the United States.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Why not have a few degrees of Johnny Depp?
Yeah, it's more fun that way, I think.
Yeah. So this isn't the first time I've heard of this production.
Right.
I was definitely aware of it, but it was in the swing of a bunch of other pieces being presented to the world. So talk about the beginning of this piece, like from page to stage.
Sure. So Val and I have been fans of each other for a long time, but we've just been orbiting around each other professionally. So we were like, let's make something together for Philly Theater Week in February. And we were brainstorming, talking about things we had in common, and we had both dressed up as Jack Sparrow for Halloween as kids. So I'm a little bit older than Val, so I was in high school, she was in middle school. And
he's
from
so
there,
flamboyant as Jack Sparrow.
So flamboyant. And
he has this androgyny about him that just allows male, female, any presenting gender.
Yeah, and like we loved him, and for Val, because she is not straight, it got her through puberty. He got her through puberty. He was like the last beacon of heterosexuality that she held on to. And for me, I was just obsessed with him, and he was part of what made me want to be an actor because he did weird stuff well.
Yeah.
Which was important. It was like him and Cate Blanchett, right? Where you're like, oh my God, weird stuff, and you're doing so good at it.
I don't know how you do this, but...
And it felt transformative at that point. Now that I look back, I'm like, oh, he does kind of just play the same character ever since Jack Sparrow. But he was the best in the 90s and early 2000s. And so we just went through his entire filmography and wrote this play around that. It's still a little like, it's ever-changing because there's a structure, but I feed off the audience a lot. So we're still figuring things out even now, but it started with Philly Theater Week, and then we just decided to apply for this festival, and then we did a run-in solo fest at Fergie's Pub just to raise money to come here and to try and simplify it into a suitcase. Actually, we have it in a Ziploc plastic bag. The whole show fits in a Ziploc plastic bag.
I saw the huge Ziploc bags that some of the productions have been. I was like, I didn't even know they made bags that huge.
Those weird like shrink wrap things.
Yeah.
Oh no, ours is just like
just
a bag.
A little one. But that's how it has to work here. Like you've got an hour, and there's like a 15-minute window of time in between.
Yeah, we have 15 minutes before and after. So it's actually easier for us though because we have a fair amount of cleanup, but it's not like we have a set or lights or sound or anything. So
I wonder if any of the venues, if they say something like, and there's going to be confetti. Damn it!
I do wonder that actually because I have seen some shows where like there's confetti and spit and beer all over the place.
It'll take forever to get this.
XOXO Moon Girl has confetti and like.
Oh yeah. But we're so enamored by its beauty that we don't care.
It doesn't matter.
Just make it wait.
Yeah, just get a broom.
Yes, Almanac is here. I am trying to chase them down. It's going to be exciting. So talk about the Edinburgh Festival Fringe experience so far. Like, talk about, for one, it's such a huge undertaking to just say, you know what, I'm going to take it to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Because there's 80 plus other festivals you can take it to as well. But Edinburgh is like the behemoth, and, some of the conversation in our own town, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, we're talking about the competition in fringe arts. Because it's fringe arts, the curated part of it, and then we've got the neighborhood Philly Fringe. So there's a whole lot to kind of pick at. But here, there's like 8 festivals in one festival. So how do you what's the experience like, and how do you find a way to stand out?
Something amazing that I've noticed here is that there isn't like, there's 8 different festivals, but there isn't a presented and a neighborhood. Like there's not a hierarchy like that. Everybody's in the same book. Yeah. Everybody has the same access to the same amount of flyers and advertising. And for us, we're just a team of 2, so it is a little harder to stand out, but we have a ridiculous title. And the title of our play has actually been the biggest selling point.
Right. That,
like, we've had small audiences because our venue's kind of far away, but everybody who's there is like, I just flipped through the book and I saw your title, and so I showed up.
That one.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems interesting.
And we were on a list before we got here that was like the 11 most eye-catching titles of the Fringe or whatever. And so we were on that list, which has helped us out quite a bit.
I learned that in Fringe Arts, my company is Represented Theater Company, and we call our production Rep Live. In alphabetical order, it is at the very end of the list, and so that's a lesson learned.
Yeah, well, that's a thing with Netflix and stuff too. Movie people have started... Why am I talking about this? Because it's important. They've started just naming their movies like American something, even though it has nothing to do with America. Because through Netflix, if you're scrolling, the A is the furthest people get. So I guess J is kind of far away too, but there's not too many J's. There's no other Johnny Depps in the festival.
And Johnny Depp, it's like, well, what is he doing right now, and why is he relevant enough to be the title of a production right now. So
Yeah.
all that is piquing curiosity.
Yeah.
So
And
I
with
guess all
the-
that is going for you.
And with the Me Too movement as well, just being as big and scary as it is right now, and
Yeah.
Amber Heard and him still in the press for
Yeah,
their messy,
yeah.
messy stuff.
And I try not to, like, even in our own community, try not to really dig too much past your sort of resume.
Sure.
It's like, because I'll sit with, I'm always sitting in a theater with someone I know
Yeah.
in Philadelphia, but there's usually a conversation about a little gossip.
Of course.
There's a little tea being spilled, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to know this or need to know this, but I'm also sort of blown away that I don't know this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we are such a small community, and
Yeah, and
everybody
gossip
knows.
goes around, and
Yeah.
I think Johnny Depp's also prime for gossip. But we have a lot of facts in our play.
Uh-huh.
Like, we've done a lot of research on him.
Yeah.
Either from just the banks of my brain or, like, things that have come up. And people are actually like, this is really well researched.
Wow. They've done their homework on Johnny Depp
Exactly.
here.
I don't really understand the plot, but I'm having fun, I guess.
Is there a education packet we can take back for schools? I want to bring
Maybe.
a group.
I'll put it through a tiny little pack. Yeah, I'll sell it. I don't care. I'll do anything. Come see my play.
So, why was Johnny Depp's character portrayal a vehicle for a conversation on late-stage capitalism? What's the through line? Or do we have to experience the whole thing to get the through line?
No, I think there's a pretty clear turn halfway through his filmography because he went from doing things like Ed Wood and Edward Scissorhands, where it was clear that these were passion projects for him and Tim Burton.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Dead Man as well. And then he gets to Pirates of the Caribbean, which started as a passion project, and now we're 5 sequels in.
Yeah.
And the other 5 are not good. So if 5 out of 6 Pirates movies aren't great, but Johnny's still in all of them, but Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley jump ship,
Exactly.
then I think he might be selling out quite a bit. And also he spends $30,000 a month on wine.
What?
He got paid $55 million to make On Stranger Tides, Pirates of the Caribbean, which is the second to last one, and it's terrible. But what does he do with all that money? He just buys like luxury vehicles. He has a storage unit. He has like 16 storage units full of guitars. So he's just like spending money and hemorrhaging money.
Is he any philanthropy?
Not that I know of. I know that he donated his salary for Parnassus to Heath Ledger's daughter, but that's the only like philanthropy that I've heard of.
Yeah.
So it's a little strange, and he's also in a lot of debt because he's spending so much money so quickly. But like how? I don't even know what I would do with $55 million.
No.
And late stage capitalism is actually defined as like watching capitalism dig its own grave.
Well, I guess, yes. Since we're talking about capitalism, I guess it is kind of frustrating to hear that a celebrity who's making money that they clearly don't need
Sure.
is squandering this money.
Yeah.
It's like you're not even making an impact with this money.
No,
it's
not
like
at
you
all.
haven't set up a foundation. Maybe he has. I don't know.
Yeah.
Johnny, you can come on the podcast if you want to chat.
Honestly, Johnny, if you're in Edinburgh, then like please come see me
I'll
and
have
see
to
my
go
play.
find Jenna and Val. We'll go
and
see the show and then we'll talk about
and
it.
sue us. I don't know, like sue us for using your likeness.
It's because we love you.
It is because we love
we're
you.
So enamored.
I can't make fun of anything that I don't love. I truly can't.
Yes.
It's the only way.
So what are some of your most notable what are some of the most notable Johnny Depp character portrayals for you?
Well, Jack Sparrow's he's so good. It's like insane how good he is.
So I mean, you probably know this too, but I believe he said he had modeled that character off of Keith
Richards. Yeah.
He's
It's fantastic.
saucy, a little
So
flamboyant.
just kind of. So basically, my performance in Johnny Depp: A Retrospective on Late Stage Capital. I'm dressed like Jack Sparrow, so I just do Jack Sparrow. But whatever.
Maybe he's accepting all these salaries because he's quietly paying Keith Richards.
Oh, this is
Like a
possible too. But Keith Richards was
consultation
in a Pirates movie. That was his consultation
Yeah.
fee. He played his dad.
How fitting.
Yeah.
Like looking into a mirror.
Truly. Ed Wood, I think, is just a really fantastic film. I think that was peak, like, Burton and Depp collaborations. Edward Scissorhands, he barely talks in that movie, and he's so good. Some of the... I've been trying to watch all of his movies to get here so that if somebody was going to stump me, I could, throw it back in their face. So I've watched a lot of bad ones recently, so the good ones aren't popping out.
So I went all the way back to the beginning, like his early notes, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, sure, he gets sucked into the bed.
Cry Baby.
We just watched Cry Baby because we did a fundraiser at Bootless.
And so when I was thinking about Cry Baby, I was like, I guess every director was like, tight on the eyes, and it's those eyes with one hanging...
the one tear.
Yeah, one tear, you know?
Well, John Waters, he's amazing.
Silly movie, yeah.
And John Waters, commercial John Waters, is very much like early Tim Burton, because if you look at Cry Baby and you look at Pee-wee's Great Adventure, they're very similar. But Johnny Depp did that movie because he was being considered a heartthrob from 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to fight against it.
Yes, that's right, 21 Jump Street.
All this and more at Johnny Depp.
I got Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd, that one.
Say what you want. I don't know.
It looks pretty.
Yes. It felt like Tim Burton had to say.
It did.
I'm not meeting you, Gavin. You're not Gavin.
Oh, no, sorry.
That was exciting. So many meetings.
There's so many artists trying to talk to me right now.
They just know what fame looks like.
Yeah.
What was that one? What did we say?
We said Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
I was about to say Wonka. That's just,
That's
geez.
questionable. That's a questionable
And
movie.
the thing is, so the interesting about Wonka is that whole story is based on Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Well, he was Charlie. He wasn't. I mean, it was Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, but he's Willy Wonka.
Yeah. That movie is farts.
It's crazy what companies do to sell chocolate bars.
That is true.
That movie only exists because I think it was Quaker Oats was trying to sell the Wonka bar.
Really?
Something like that, yeah.
Man, that original movie's so good, though, and the new one is so bad. I just And then Alice in Wonderland, why did we remake it? It was fine the first time.
And there is a big difference between Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Charlie is supposed to be closer to Roald Dahl's writing, so more dark. But it used too much CGI, and it just sort of took us out of it all. It was like, no, it was like that gritty sort of...
And Violet turning Violet, I was just like, I don't want to see a big blue CGI ball rolling towards me.
Yeah, and okay, so just hire one person to play all the Oompa Loompas, right? Because of technology.
Sure.
Now all these little people are out of work.
Truly. You know what? Fuck you, Tim Burton.
Yes. You and all the money that surrounds you. I'm sorry, but seriously, if you want to come on the podcast,
yeah, truly, please come
chat.
Come find us, sue us. We don't care. Just please acknowledge our existence. That would be great. This has been my flyering technique recently.
Yes.
I've just been handing people flyers and being like, free flyers. I don't care what you do with them.
Okay, yeah. So it's maybe an hour or two before your show.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
We're walking to the venue, which is kind of far away. And then we started taping all our flyers together to make a $sign or to spell out Johnny Depp. And so we just walked down the street with those. Today I might flyer in costume. I haven't been doing that recently because I'm tired. And it was my birthday, so I just didn't feel like doing that. But today I'll probably flyer in person. So we go to the venue, which is in Newtown. We walk through Old Town to Newtown, pick up all our stuff, stand outside of this fancy hotel, and hand flyers to people who don't necessarily want them. And then we poach the comedy clubs and try to exit flyer those as people are coming out.
Now you're in the Free Fringe, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with the Free Fringe is essentially a pay what you decide. But there is no barrier for participation.
Right.
So you can just attend this show, and then at the end, if you felt moved, if you feel any kind of way, just show your gratitude, your experience in the bucket, in the hat, at the end of the show.
Yeah, and what's kind of nice is that it's cheaper to register for it, which is great. And then for our show, people give money, people don't, and it's fine. But they've been leaving a bunch of reviews online, which is great.
That's great.
And just telling people about it.
I hear that Twitter is much better for Edinburgh Fringe
Yeah,
in terms
it sure
of
is.
promotion.
Well, I love Twitter.
Because of how that just carries around.
It's quick.
Yeah.
Literally, you scroll and you go, oh, okay, I guess I'll go see that. That person said it was fine. But
I wonder if everyone should just, for Fringe, it's like hashtag Edinburgh Fringe, hashtag Trump.
Sure,
Hashtag.
just anything.
Yeah, just all the things that sell well on Twitter. Now that I have your attention.
Yeah, exactly. We've been using the hashtag Johnny Depp a retrospective and Johnny Depp, DEBT. So and then Women of Fringe, which has been useful actually.
Yeah.
People
Great.
have come out.
Great.
But yeah,
There is, yes, there's a lot of female representation.
there is. It's actually kind of amazing.
There actually is all gender representation.
Yeah.
Which is really great. And there are people who are doing the work for us, sort of, hey, here's a collection. If you want to see all this LGBTQ stuff, you can go to our website over here.
Yeah.
We have a totally separate list here.
It is great.
Somebody's really focusing on the theater pieces and the music and everything. So that's really great.
Yeah.
It's not as overwhelming as the guidebook is. And as nice as this guidebook is,
It's beautiful, but
having
there's
it in your bag on the way home is not something you really want to do.
it doesn't
It's
fit
like,
on your carry-on.
I'll take a picture of this. Let's say I had it and I carried it around, but I'm going to leave it behind.
The app is really useful, though. Their app is actually
Yes.
good. Like, our Philly Fringe app is kind of terrible, but, like, theirs is great.
It's starting.
Yeah, it's beginning. Are you
gonna
Are you
grow.
programming it?
No, it's going to grow.
But, yeah.
I mean, I hope they're taking cues from
Yeah,
it,
I hope so, too.
to make it more functional. But yeah, I do like that. I like the ability to create a calendar
Yeah.
in that, and then have that calendar exported to your own calendar, so
Yeah.
that you've got a list you can share with your friends, and you can buy all the tickets all in one shot.
Yeah,
So,
which is nice. I was hoping that, like, our show's at 3 p.m.,
Mm-hmm.
so I was hoping that we weren't in direct competition with some of the bigger shows, because this
Yeah.
was so overwhelming to me that I was like, shit. It's actually been pretty good. I feel like if you do a show at 7, like, I think that
It's like close. It's pretty much prime time.
Yeah.
Like after anything.
10:10, everything's on at 10:10,
Yeah.
which is kind of strange. So, like, if you're walking around Gilded Balloon at all,
Yeah.
there's just so many shows
They're like, I don't know.
happening. But we're at 3 p.m., so it's
Yeah.
great. You can sit on a terrace, grab a beer.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you think your time slot is a sweet spot. So I was here. Yesterday was Monday. It's Tuesday, August 6th. If you're, this won't go out in real time, but it's Tuesday, August 6th.
Sure.
But on Monday, I did notice that it seemed like there were more kids around, but it was because it was earlier.
Yeah.
There's a lot of family-friendly
Yeah.
work here as well.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, there's a lot of pieces that, on first glance, it didn't seem like these would be family-friendly, and then they turn out to be. Like, a lot of the stuff that's clowning
Yeah.
would be a draw in some way, because there's so many layers to kind of pick up on.
Yeah, I agree. Ours is not, I mean, if you're like a teenager, you could come. It's just silly words. It's just silly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's complicated themes, but told not, like, I don't know, through a clown lens.
So your show runs at 3 o'clock.
Yes.
And so you've got, it's kind of safe to say your morning is sort of like putting yourself in a zone, just relaxing and
A little bit.
hydrating and
Yeah. And we've been out really late.
Yeah.
because things happen at night.
I was just about to say, so what do you do after your show? Go put your stuff away and then you play tourists?
I sit on a terrace because there's a beautiful back area at our venue. We give out goodie bags at the show because you can throw money
it's
at the
interactive.
altar of
Nice.
Depp. So we have to clean that up. And then we have to reset all the goodie bags. That takes about 20 minutes. And then we sit on the terrace just for a moment, go get dinner, see a show. I'm seeing 3 shows tonight.
Great.
So basically, I've just been seeing as much theater as possible,
Yeah.
which is what I do during the Fringe as well, because I do late night shows at the Philly Fringe. So I sleep until like 12. I wake up, I do stuff during the day, and then I do my show at night. I
Yeah.
see as many theater pieces as possible.
Are you getting pulled away or making plans to be swept up in the culture of Edinburgh? Because there's so much pulling you. There's like Arthur's Seat in one direction.
Yeah.
There's the botanical gardens in another, and then all of these beautiful museums that are free.
I know, I can't wait. We went up to Arthur's Seat the other day, and that was just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then I think we're gonna do the other trail that's up there. My boyfriend gets here tomorrow, so
Okay, cool.
we're gonna do all the museums and stuff like that. But it's funny because if I'm just walking around town because I have big red hair and I'm just like walking without bothering anybody, everybody thinks I'm from around here.
Oh.
And then I open my mouth and they're like, no, you have a very soft accent. I don't understand. But yeah, I'm doing all the touristy things. I saved that for when he gets here a little bit. But that's what I'm going to spend my time with later in the week. But we only run until the 10th.
Okay.
So I kind of have to work
Yeah.
until then.
Work it.
Yeah, which is a little overwhelming.
That's all right. I feel like I don't know if you know. Last year I was only here for a week, and it definitely felt like it wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe 2 weeks is the sweet spot, but I'll be here for 2 weeks this time.
When do you leave?
I'm leaving on the 18th.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah, so because I came here on the second week last year, just because I wanted everything to be in the swing by then. So I thought that would be good, but it was like, well, getting swept up in the culture that's Edinburgh is kind of pulling me away from my original purpose.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, so I want to give it time for that, and time to just like kind of feel like I live here for a minute.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I'm just walking around. I don't have everything in my bag, and I'm not just
That
turning
and also
the
like I'm not going to a show. I'm not going to a show. I'm just
Yes.
gonna walk. And we did that last night actually, and it was quite nice because we went out to watch some stand up. We watched for a little bit and then filtered out and just walked the streets, watched the tattoo, watched some fireworks. It was just nice.
That's what I like about a lot of this. The comedy is the free fringe.
Yeah.
I mean, and you just pop in, laugh your butt off. Oh my God, that was great.
Give them a pound or two.
And I
That's
had
all
a
you
beer.
want.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of interesting with the free fringe as well. There's so little theater.
Yeah.
Like there's maybe 6 theater pieces. It's all stand-up comedy. So I don't know if that's helping or hurting us.
Yeah.
That like people don't feel like they can just pop in and pop out. But our show's only 45 minutes, 50 minutes long. So it's not like it's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
But I have
wonder.
friends who have billed their theater shows as comedy, and they get comedy crowds to come in. Because I was in the stand-up world for a while as well, and I know what comedy crowds are like, and I did not want to bill this as stand-up, even though it kind of is. It's stressful.
I would like to think that the festival audience is supportive of work in progress.
Sure.
You know, but if there were some hecklers, I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I saw a show at 12:15 the other day, 12:15 at night, and there was some hecklers that like stormed out of the room because they thought they were coming to see stand-up, and like tried to fight another audience member. It was bizarre, and the dude performing was just like, okay. I guess
So
this
that
is
happened.
today.
Where
Yeah.
was I? Let me see. What page am I on?
Anyway, yeah.
How do we play this? This is worked into the show.
Yeah, this was planned. I thought it was a plant, actually.
All of this and this part here and this
Exactly.
part here and hi, ma'am. That part there, that was in there as well.
We ask...
Where are you from?
Exactly. We ask our audience like to put together Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl together as a group, like what we remember about that movie
Yeah.
during our show. And one girl, she just completely forgot everything that happened. Just went, I remember Keira Knightley was fit in this movie, and we were like, that's great, and we just used it for the rest of the show. So,
All right, let's just call back to how.
We're gonna roll back to that. That's all you remember. Good,
Yeah.
good. No skeletons. All right.
So, in your experience so far in Edinburgh Festival Fringe, what would make this experience easier for artists like you?
A publicity team would be great. Not having to do that stuff and do the show
Yeah.
would have been extremely useful because I was producing from overseas. Val was already over here because she's living in Bristol right now for a few months, but like communicating with Val on a different time zone, and communicating with the people here, like in the festival, running the festival in a different time zone was really hard. Our posters didn't get to our venue until 10 minutes before our first show, so we lost a whole day of flyering, and like, so that was difficult. just think communication is hard from across the sea. So, like, maybe if I got here a few days earlier, I was here 2 days earlier, but, like, if I got here 3 or 4 days earlier, then I probably could have gotten all that stuff done quicker.
Yeah.
But also, it's kind of a one-man band a little bit. Like, Val didn't have access to internet that often, so I was doing a lot of it, and Facebook and Twitter only goes so far.
Yeah. That was like the first thing I did when I got here was got a SIM card.
Yeah.
A data plan. Like,
Well, I was trying to do it without buying a data plan, and it was impossible.
and there is Wi-Fi like everywhere.
Sure.
It's just not,
It's not reliable, though.
You know,
And-
unless you're here at Fringe Central.
Fringe Central, there's reliable
Central's
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi is
At the
no joke.
flat, but why are you spending time at your flat? Like,
Exactly, yeah.
At our venue, there's Wi-Fi, but our venue's so far away, and, like, I couldn't get anything done in town. I also think that, like, maybe hiring flyers, but we don't have that kind of money because there's just 2 of us, and our show's not making money.
Yeah, that's been my observation too. Is that it feels like there's probably an opportunity for Philadelphia artists to come together and realize that they're all going to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And get some combined production team.
That was a little stressful, too, because, like, I didn't find out that Steve was going until late, like Steve Pasek and that crew. And Chris Davis, we're staying with Chris Davis, who comes here every single year. He's been here for 7 years. He's been an immense help in that capacity. But, like, his show is right before us at the same venue, and he doesn't promote that another Philadelphia show is behind him. And I was like, man, come on.
Calling you
We're
out,
all in
Chris.
this together. Yeah, come on, Chris. No, but he's been extremely
Even though he
helpful.
has an overwhelming wealth of knowledge
Oh,
for
yeah.
do-it-yourself theater.
He's been amazing.
Yes.
And, like, even having a place to stay at his flat has been incredible. There's 6 of us in this tiny little place, so it's kind of like Bohemia, but it's very, very useful. And he knows the good shows, and he knows where not to go, and he knows not to waste your time on stuff. So that's been great. But, like, yeah, if we had all banded together, then maybe we could have all somehow, combined forces and flyered some more.
I mean, I just think
hard,
big
though.
about it. I'm like, there's strength in numbers. So
For sure.
If there's like 4 or 5 productions that are going as a collective, there's probably an opportunity to obtain some funding.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Because we applied for grants and we got turned down from stuff because they were like, well, I don't know, you're
we
going
don't know
overseas.
about this show. Well, we're creating, if we can give it a theme and we call it this thing, it's a Liberty to Edinburgh.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
We're just
We're just spitballing. Freedom in the city of...
Any listeners out there, you have any ideas on how to create a collective that we would bring to Edinburgh? Let me know.
Oh,
I'm
truly.
on board for
Yeah,
this.
just send me an email. I'm very easy to reach on
Powered
Twitter.
by Emory, Rep Radio.
Yeah.
Broad Street Review Podcast.
Supported by passion from Jenna Kuerzi because I don't have any money. We did do a nice crowdfunding. Like, we had friends that came out of the woodwork and were like, oh, you're going overseas? Great, go.
Yeah.
Go. But it's that part has been hard. Capitalism, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so
It's on
difficult.
display, too.
Yeah.
It's like, here's my airline ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a ridiculous amount.
It literally costs this amount of money. If you give us X amount, then you paid for the show 2 times over.
Here's how many people have to come see the show and give at least like £2.
Well, that's another thing that's good about Free Fringe. We're not relying on ticket sales at all because we're not technically paying our venue anything. But the assembly and like the other festivals, there's a pretty hefty fee that's involved. So if you're not selling tickets, then you're not making that money back. But you do get the credit. So I guess that this festival is just a nice way to get some reviews, get some audiences, and lose some money.
You've been on a global stage, and
Exactly.
you traveled with this thing.
Yeah. Val and I always joke that this is our international stardom,
Yeah.
We're like, this is it in the
Making
back alley.
its international debut.
Yeah.
Like, what? Is it
Oh, I'm an international stand-up comedian now, don't you know? Maybe that'll get me hired in Philly. Probably not, but, who knows?
Well, Philly, we have our own thing.
We sure do.
That's a totally different podcast series.
Sure is.
Let's talk about that.
I'll be first on that one.
Yeah. But, so, how can we follow you and Val and the journey of this piece as it continues? 'Cause
Sure.
this can't be it. for
No,
Edinburgh.
probably not. I don't know when Val's coming back to the States, but when she comes back, we'll probably do another version of it just to
She's picked up an accent. She's like, no, coming back.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
No.
she has a girlfriend in Bristol now, so she
Oh,
might
wow.
not be
She's
coming
definitely
back.
not coming back.
Which is actually fine. I feel like that's good for her.
And I feel like if she does and something in that changes, let's hope not. We're hoping for the best.
Yeah, for sure.
She's got to write about it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has to be a piece.
100%. And then she's international artist, Val
Yeah.
Dunn. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at less than a muffin. Very easy to reach, and hopefully you remember that username. Also, JennaKuerzi.com. I post updates on there all the time. Facebook, kind of. We did get 2 reviews. That was kind of cool.
Oh, great.
They came to our first show where there was only 4 people and 2 of them were reviewers, but who cares?
Whatever, they were there.
They were there. 3 stars. We have 6 stars in
Great
total.
comments. Good,
We'll take
good,
it.
Good. All right. The production is Johnny Depp, a retrospective on late-stage capitalism.
Yes.
And it features Jenna Kuerzi and Val Dunn. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me.
Thank you.
Here, all the way in Edinburgh. I still can't believe we're here.
I know, it's so amazing.
And
I
the
love
weather
it so much.
sucks, and then it's beautiful, and
Yeah.
then it sucks again, and then it's summer.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's so odd, but I haven't quite figured out the clothing yet.
No, me neither.
So I have
No.
things, but my walk over here, I was already building up a sweat, and I'm like, you can't move too fast. Because
Nobody moves too fast
no,
over here.
and I get it now.
Yeah.
And when I first got here, I was like, no one moves out of the way.
No.
And everyone is in the way.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody's just trying to figure out what the weather is going to do next.
It's a different pace, too. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I love it here because these are my people.
Yes. And everyone has a backpack. And in
Everybody
your
has-
backpack is a small umbrella
Yep.
and a rain jacket.
And a large stack of flyers.
Yes, yes, exactly. All right. So it was great chatting with you, and I'm going to come see the show.
Yay!
And it'll be fun. So it's Jenna Kuerzi here on the podcast here at Edinburgh Fringe Central.
Yeah.
And we're here all through August.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. for
Thank
chatting
you
with
so
me.
much.
Head on over to our website at www.broadstreetreview.com and click Get Involved at the top. While you're there, help keep us running and click Contribute to find out how. Connect with us on social media on Facebook and Twitter at Broad Street Review. Thank you for helping to keep the conversation going.